So, like I said, being, I guess, injured is the proper word, or sidetracked maybe is better, really ended up being a very beneficial thing. Because that's one thing, I've been pretty good at is reading the room in wrestling, shall we say. And I've been really kind of preaching that you don't try and lead the story, you let the story lead you. So we went from, Eddie Kingston and Jericho, where the plan was he was going to win the big one. I said he couldn't win the big one. He wins the big one. He beats me. And then we become kind of a ipso facto team. And maybe we get together with Mox and become kind of like these hard-hitting veteran, guys. Well, I get hurt, then Eddie gets hurt, and then the Santana Ortiz kind of turning their backs on me happens, which then leads to me and Eddie at the pay-per-view in February. He beats me, and the next night I go to shake his hand, which I said I would shake his hand if he won. And just about to do that, 2.0 and Danny Garcia come down, and of course then Santana Ortiz come down, and we turn on them, and that's when the Jericho Appreciation Society is formed. Now, the reason why that even happened was, like I mentioned, all the other things prior, but then another one was that Bryan Danielson was talking about wanting to use Danny Garcia and his faction, and I thought, well, they've already built Garcia in 2.0. It would be a shame for 2.0 if they took Garcia away. And then it's like, well, why don't we just keep them together and have them start with me? That would be great. And you guys know the rest of the story because we told it with the Jericho Appreciation Society on Talk is Jericho a few weeks ago. But yeah, the Jazz story, the Jericho Appreciation Society story started, the faction started, which led to the classic Anarchy in the Arena, which led to the classic Hell in the Cell, which led to the classic Six-Man at Forbidden Door, and none of that would have happened had this blood clot, this pulmonary embolism not happened. And my kind of physical transformation, which was another kind of Jericho evolution that really fit perfectly with the Jericho Appreciation Society timing-wise, that wouldn't have happened. I mean, I doubt that I would have lost as much as I did, as quickly as I did, if I didn't have to get rid of the visceral fat. Now, the visceral fat was at 11. It's supposed to be under 10. After 1 week, it was at 9. Now it's down to 6. It's under control. And like I mentioned, the blood is under control. Interesting that they check your COVID antibody levels, and my antibodies are 500 and the norm is 50. So that shows that vaccinations work. Just interesting. It really does. And everything else is great. So it's just good to know that when I had this warning about my health from God, that I was able to really take advantage of that and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Now, once again, could I have prevented the blood clots from happening? I don't know. It's this factor 5, or maybe it was the Paget Schroeder, or many things in between. It's not like, if you get too fat, blood clots happen, or if you get too skinny, blood clots happen. I think they just happen when they're going to happen. But thankfully, because I recognized that there was an issue when I couldn't breathe on stage, like I said, after the first couple times it happened, I was going on YouTube and looking for breathing exercises. And this is not breathing exercises. I've never had this problem before, and having my first match back was a little bit intimidating and scary, but also doing my first Fozzy show afterwards was a little bit intimidating and scary. What happens if I'm short of breath again? What happens if the same thing goes down that went down when I was in England? Thankfully, I haven't had any problems. Singing-wise, I'm right back to where I was before. So it's cool to see all of these positive things happening. It's cool to know that these blood thinners are getting down to, like I said, 2.5 twice a day, going from 10 twice a day. That's how serious it was. So I guess just to finish off, it's a warning. You have to listen to your body. And I've always been good at doing that. Listen to your body. And if you're having issues, make sure to address them. And I'm glad that I did that.